To have the possibility to launch alarms via phone, it is needed to create DDIs for incoming phone calls. Start in the Alarm Central and change to the Setting tab Incoming Calls. By default there are already 4 existing DDIs. To add a new one, head to the top and press on Incoming Calls and click on New Entry Number. Select the DDIs you want to add to your system and press the green arrow to move them into the New Entries tab. Click on Add to add them into the system. Now it is needed to define the DDI. To do so, continue with a double click on your currently added incoming call. Now you have an empty DDI in your system. The basic settings of the incoming call are with every function the same. So give a name in the label text field. From the drop-down menu, choose a type what this DDI should be used for. Default is broadcast, launch an alarm. Next setting is to activate a schedule plan. For this entry, activate the checkbox Schedule Plan to activate and define times when this entry is available and when it should go into another DDI. Next checkbox is to activate a whitelist. By activating the checkbox Check Whitelist, you can define phone numbers what are allowed to launch this DDI. The next checkbox is for defining a password. Once active, the password needs to be entered by phone to launch this incoming call. With the drop-down menu prompt language, you can define the language what this entry has its voice message. The field display message, connected name, is the name what will be shown in the display of the calling device when calling into this DDI. The last fields dial-in number, internal, external, O and comment are only information fields to let the later administrating user know how he can dial into this DDI. To launch an alarm via incoming phone calls, the entry needs to be set to broadcast, launch an alarm. Define the entry as you like with whitelist, password, schedule, etc. In the bottom menu you have a drop-down menu called Launch the Alarm. Within this you can define the alarm you want to launch when this entry is called. With the button CLI mapping you can define that calls from different numbers on this entry shall launch different alarms, depending on the CLI what is calling. With the setting Play Voice File for entry you can define, play and record a message what should be used when calling this entry. By default the checkbox Record New Alarm Message on each alarm launch is active. With this MobiCall we'll use the voice message recorded on this launch for the outgoing alarm. Press the button Settings for more options. Within this settings menu you can define the maximum length of the voice message in seconds. You can define the minimal length of the voice message in bytes. You can activate the function that the recorded voice message file will be used for this alarm in future but will be re-recorded on every new call-in, and you have the possibility to activate a menu to confirm, play and record the alarm message. Press OK to save changes. With the next checkbox use the entry, DDI, defined by the number of the caller, CLI. If it exists you can set that depending on the number what is calling in. The last digits of the calling CLI will be used as entry when calling into this DDI. When activating the checkbox Play the menu Launch Alarm, you hear a menu to ensure that the alarm won't be launched by accident. With the last checkbox you can deactivate the voice message the alarm has been launched on launch. This checkbox is active by default. To launch a conference via incoming call you need to adjust the option for the DDI to launch a conference. Set up the DDI as you need with password, whitelist or schedule plan. In the bottom of the window you need to define your alarm number for the conference. This alarm must be set up as conference alarm. Conference with first or conference, parallel is what you need for. With the option below, a voice file can be used for this incoming call what will be played at calling in. Below can be defined a maximum time for waiting on a conference partner. If within this time a conference partner won't be found, then you can change to another DDI by activating the checkbox below. With the button Extended Settings you can change the extended conference settings. Here you are some more options what can be activated at a conference. The next possibility is to record an alarm message for a specific entered alarm number. If a voice file already exists, MobiCall will overwrite it and will use the new recorded one as static voice file for the alarm. First setting is to choose the language what the voice file on this entry is for. If no language gets specified, The default language is used. Then you can select if you want to use it for entering an alarm number and record a voice message for this alarm, or to record the name of a person for the entered phone number. This is used for localization alarms. Next setting with an incoming call is to log in or log out persons. Depending on their status, if logged in or logged out, the person will receive an alarm call or not. First setting for this function is the default active option play menu to log in by pressing key 1 and log out with key 0. With this active, you can use 1 DDI for login or log out. Next option is to log in the person on a call. It is also possible to log in by entering an ID number. With the next option is set that the person that calls into this DDI, the person get an automatic log out. With the last option can be set the presence of the account person. By logging out the account person, no alarm is sent to every assignment of this account person. Many more features are available via incoming calls. If help should be needed on any point, contact New Voice Support for helping with the configuration and the single points.